This interview is the 19th in a series focusing on vendors who are selling their wares at the Western New York Welcome Center's Taste New York Market. In this vendor spotlight, Victoria Piela-Ryan, representing Cutick's Honey Farm, based in Oxford, New York and Shenango County, discusses Cutick's diverse enterprises, along with some business and marketing experiences, tips, and strategies. Spotlight on Cutick's Honey Farm.
Hi, everybody. Chuck Cutick started Cutick's Honey Farm in 1979 after being gifted 2 hives for Christmas one year. And from there, his operation grew. Today, Chuck has 4 businesses: Cutick's Honey Farm, Cutick's Nukes and Queens, Cutick's Pollination Services, and Cutick's Everything Bees. And all of these businesses work together in a large symbiotic relationship to keep the other ones going. Cutick's Nukes and Queens sells nucleus hives, and which are starter hives for anybody who doesn't know that term, and queens, so queen bees, which we ship all over the country. And from there, Cutick's Pollination Services purchases nukes and queens for their part of the business, which is producing honey for the honey farm to sell at the wholesale level. From there, Cutick's Everything Bees is our retail store, and they sell beekeeping equipment, novelty gifts, and our honey as well. So we all work together to create Cutick's, which is 4 different businesses.
So you mentioned a little bit about the ownership. Can you expand on that, especially with respect to the 4 businesses?
Yep. So Karen and Chuck are owners of all 4 businesses. And from there, each business has, some of them have other owners as well. Cutick's Nukes and Queens has one of our previous employees and his wife, which are 50-50 owners at this point. And Cutick's Everything Bees is partially owned by Karen and Chuck's niece, Lindsay. The other 2 businesses, Cutick's Pollination Services and Cutick's Honey Farm, are in the process of finding buyers and getting buyers to include, so Karen and Chuck can start the process of retirement.
And how many people are employed between the businesses?
Roughly 40. We have 18 H2A guys that come in for the summer, but full-time here all year, we probably have 25 employees.
Can you tell me a little bit about Cutick's Honey and what's unique about it, and what you consider to be some of the highlights of the Cutick's Honey side of the business?
Yeah, definitely. We have year-round flavors, which include wildflower, clover, orange blossom, buckwheat, creamed, and raw. And then we have some seasonal varieties that we rotate through, which include blueberry blossom and cranberry blossom, sunflower, and Japanese knotweed. So our made in New York flavors are obviously wildflower and clover. What I find really fascinating is even our blueberry and cranberry blossom, which are not made around here, are still our bees, because our bees go and pollinate in different states across the country. We're able to produce other varieties of honey with our own bees, which is super fun to me. And then our raw honey is nothing like I've ever seen before. Our raw honey is heated just to the point to be able to get it off the comb, and it is unfiltered and has all the pollen and all that good stuff to keep in it. It's probably one of the best things you can have if you have seasonal allergies, because it has everything that you need to be able to fight those allergies off. So we have over 10,000 hives. We have a lot of bees, always. That's not even including the nukes and the queens that we sell. So,
can you expand a little bit on your product line?
So, like I said, we have all of those flavors as well as different sizings. So they range from an 8-ounce jar to a 5-pounder. And depending if it's somebody who's willing to co-pack, and so they're buying our product to repack, We also sell in a 5-gallon pail and a 55-gallon drum to these customers.
You're selling both retail and wholesale. That's right.
Mhm.
And your marketing then is some through your own store and then through other businesses, including co-packing.
Yes. So we have our retail store, Everything Bees. We also have a small farm stand that we sell our honey on. We also market through businesses like Regional Access that take our product out of the area. And we have several businesses that buy our product to co-pack and resell, especially one of our big customers is down in New Jersey. And we bottle our honey into a special size jar just for them to sell with their label on it.
Your social media presence is an evolving effort, I'm sure. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So our social media is relatively new. We started our Facebook page back in December. It is 3 of our businesses. It is our wholesale, so Cutick's Honey Farm, Cutick's Pollination Services, and Cutick's Nukes and Queens. Cutick's Everything Bees has its own social media due to them being the retail side of everything and not carrying all the things that we carry, or they carry more than what we carry here. So we are really working on trying to boost honey sales with it right now. We saw a great turnover with our Nukes and Queens sales and a boost from having a social media presence and being able for anyone from a hobbyist beekeeper to commercial beekeepers seeing our products out there. So now we are in the middle of developing a plan to boost our honey sales from social media as well.
So your online sales right now are kind of only through social media. You don't have an online shopping site at the moment.
We do not. It is in the works for hopefully soon, but we do not have one right now. Right now, if somebody who's not local to us is looking for one to purchase our honey, they'll either have to give us a call and we can ship it out to you, or send us a Facebook message or something like that, and we can definitely send it out. In the future, we're looking at having a e-commerce website as well.
So the 4 businesses are located where?
Between Oxford and Norwich right now, and some in Fort Plain, New York. So we're all a New York-based business, but we're looking at transferring all of our business to Oxford. We just purchased the new building that all of our offices are in. So our last business to come to Oxford is Cutick's Honey Farm. So bringing our bottling to Oxford. We have a bigger space here. Hopefully we'll get some new equipment in and be able to make it the best that it can possibly be for this point in time.
How has COVID impacted your businesses over the last year and a half?
COVID has impacted us different than I have seen it impact other businesses. We had a record year in honey sales. Honey was the miracle drug that everybody wanted to try to fight off all the COVID germs. So they were trying to eat as much of it as possible.
And fortunately, staff impacts were minimal or none.
We had a very little impact. Obviously, you can't get around a pandemic, and we had to fight off all of that and do different things that way. But we were able to slide by and not be drastically impacted.
Well, that's great. That's great.
It was amazing.
You talked a little bit about future plans already. Any others you'd like to share?
So our big thing is Karen and Chuck are looking at retirement, so trying to condense the 4 businesses and make them ready for them to take their final steps back, and expanding our offerings into special occasion honey favors and co-packing into special jar, like a specific jar that somebody's looking. We're looking at expanding that, as well as obviously expanding our Nukes and Queens sales and everything else. We're really always looking to expand that side of the business.
And some of that's going to happen as you consolidate the businesses into the Oxford location as well.
Definitely.
Thank you to Victoria Piela-Ryan, administrative staff at Cutick's Honey, for enthusiastically sharing the story of Cutick's Honey and the associated businesses Cutick's Everything Bees, Cutick's Pollination Services, and Cutick's Nooks and Queens. For more information about the Cutick Honey and Bee enterprises, you can visit www.cuticks.com, www.facebook.com/CuticksEverythingBees, or www.instagram.com/everythingbees. If you're in the area, be sure to stop by Cutick's Everything Bees at 3442 State Highway 12 in Oxford, New York. Cutick's Honey is available in many of the Taste New York markets across New York State, as well as through the Everything Bees store and a variety of other wholesale and retail markets and distributors, including the online grocery shopping and delivery service, Our Harvest. Cutick's also emphasized their long relationship with Cornell's Dice Lab for Honeybee Studies. https://pollinator.cals.cornell.edu/resources. As the Cuticks say on their webpage, by honoring the bee, we are able to provide the best honey, foster ideal colony health, and give our customers time-tested advice. Karen and Chuck Cutick's Honey and Bee businesses are examples of how small businesses in New York State are continually adjusting to changes in the economy and markets as they strive to make locally grown, manufactured, or processed and packaged foods, beverages, goods, and services available to consumers throughout the state, region, and beyond.